Right now, deep inside your brain, your hippocampus is shrinking cell by cell silently while you read this sentence. And the neurologists who scan it for a living admit they cannot stop it. This isn't old age. This isn't disease. It's showing up in 25-year-olds, in people who test as sharp, healthy, fine. The damage doesn't announce itself. You will not feel it happen. But by the end of this, you'll know the one rule that interrupts it. Your hippocampus is your brain's filing system. It takes the raw noise of your day and decides what becomes a memory and what gets thrown away. It's also your internal map, the reason you know how to get home without thinking. Every name you forget mid-introduction. Every time you walk into a room and lose the reason why. Every conversation where the thread just slips. That's not a personality flaw. That's a filing system already under strain, quietly losing volume, one stress spike at a time. And the people around you have no idea it's happening, because from the outside you look completely normal. Here's the mechanism, and it's uglier than you think. Your hippocampus is packed with more cortisol receptors than almost any other brain region, which means it absorbs stress hormone faster and harder than the rest of your skull. Every spike of chronic stress floods those receptors. Dendrites, the branching arms neurons used to connect to each other, start retracting. Fewer connections. Weaker filing. Meanwhile, deep inside the hippocampus, there's a strip of tissue called the dentate gyrus, one of the only places in the adult brain that still grows new neurons. It's supposed to be manufacturing replacements every single day. But cortisol shuts that factory down. And at night, when your brain is supposed to flush out the metabolic waste of the day through your glymphatic system, poor sleep interrupts the cleanup. The damage compounds while you're unconscious. Here's where it gets uncomfortable. Neurologists can see this on an MRI. Hippocampal volume loss is measurable, documented, indisputable. What they don't have is a drug that reverses it. There is no pill that regrows a dentate gyrus. There is no prescription that undoes cortisol's grip on those receptors. The medical literature admits this openly, buried in the discussion section of papers nobody outside the field ever reads, never in the headline, never in the abstract. Medicine is extremely good at managing the symptoms of a shrinking hippocampus. It has almost nothing for the mechanism itself, which means the fix, if one exists, was never going to come from a prescription pad. And here's the part that contradicts almost everything you've been told. You've probably heard do puzzles, learn a language, keep your brain active to protect your memory. But sitting still doing crossword puzzles barely touches this problem. Because cognitive load alone isn't the trigger your dentate gyrus is waiting for. In fact, purely passive brain games can lull you into thinking you're covered, while the actual mechanism keeps grinding away untouched. The real trigger isn't mental, it's vascular. Your hippocampus needs blood flow more than it needs Sudoku. And that single distinction is exactly what separates the people whose memory holds up for decades from everyone else doing the smart thing and still declining. So here's the rule. Researchers tracking aging brains over years, measuring actual hippocampal volume on repeat scans, found something specific. The people whose hippocampus didn't just stop shrinking but measurably grew back weren't the puzzle solvers. They were the ones who elevated their heart rate continuously for 20 minutes, at least 4 times a week without fail. Not gentle strolling, not stop and start. Continuous, elevated, sustained. That threshold matters because it's roughly the point where your body releases enough BDNF, brain-derived neurotrophic factor, to cross into neurogenesis territory. Below it, you get a mood boost and nothing structural. Above it, you're triggering the dentate gyrus to manufacture new neurons faster than cortisol can kill them off. High performers who protect their memory into their 60s and 70s didn't discover a supplement. They discovered a threshold, and they never skip it, not because they enjoy it, but because they understood what happens the week they stop. So tonight, this is what you do. Not tomorrow, not when things calm down, tonight. 20 minutes, heart rate up, hard enough that a full sentence is a little harder to get out. A brisk walk in the dark counts. A bike ride counts. What doesn't count is intensity for 5 minutes and calling it done. Consistency beats intensity here, 4 nights this week, not one brutal one. Set a timer. Protect it like you protect a prescription, because right now, it's the only one that works. But the hippocampus isn't the only region under attack while you sleep tonight. There's another structure sitting less than an inch away, quietly leaking a chemical into your brain right now, and what it does might be working against everything you just did to fix this one.